This is the first of several presentations to help you navigate the dangers of financial investment. Did you know that only in 2017 did someone win a Nobel Prize for his work concerning how emotions affect investment? His name is Richard Thaler. A few years earlier, in 2013, Robert Shiller won a Nobel Prize in economics for his work showing that markets, in the short term, are driven by irrationality. I'm not here to lay out their theories, but to present a general psychology that supports the laureate's view, or their view will support mine. If you understand these principles, you should, with practice, be able to better control impulses that may have led to disaster, or at least not the best outcome. Emotion also has everything to do with good choices. You may have already learned a great deal of this material through life lessons and having a good upbringing, or also through the School of Hard Knocks, but I do believe that we have come a long way in being able to state specifically how to make better decisions through an understanding of emotion. One thing I've learned is that almost no one knows much about their emotions. I've been working diligently in the field of psychology for 20 years, exploring how our thinking and emotions are intertwined. Many that are reading this feel that they act purely rational when making financial decisions. We have all been brought up and educated to put a premium on thinking and making choices that are rational. The first step is to go beyond this common but erroneous view of where rationality comes from. Actually, no one ever bothers to ask where rationality comes from. It is seen as a given that we are human, therefore we are rational, and therefore we can and should make rational decisions. If we don't, we are called irrational. What lies behind our thinking and reasoning? The first step is to understand that our attention and interest must be drawn to something before we can think about it. I will repeat that in order to think about something, our attention and interest must be drawn to it. Not understanding this is the basis for all human misunderstanding. We have an emotional connection to what we are interested in. Interest is an emotion that we have never appreciated. Many of us that might listen to this presentation have been highly trained in critical thinking, but I ask you to pause and realize how long and how hard we had to study to just get where we are, and none of us would be doing our job if we just rested on our laurels and thought we had a rational mind completely in order. In not appreciating interest as an emotion, we often assume that since I'm interested in something, everyone else is, or because I'm interested in it, I must be right. To be concrete, someone is interested in real estate. Someone is interested in wine. Someone is interested in bonds. Someone is interested in commodities. And someone is interested in cryptocurrency. We use the word interest all the time. Someone asks us what your investment interest is, and we say real estate, or we say antique cars. I am interested in investing in antique cars. I am interested in buying your 1945 Ford. One error we make is thinking that because we have been interested in one area and successful at it, because we have applied reason to it and studied it, that we are therefore knowledgeable in other areas of investment. We probably all have made that mistake and found that it often doesn't work out too well. When we make a mistake, we feel something. We feel hurt and confused about what just happened. The dynamic can be seen in this diagram. I will say more about this in following discussions. Other words for interest are curiosity, passion, a liking for. But to continue along with interest, we can say that interest goes from a range of mere curiosity to one of excitement. Interest is always at some level, let's say between 1 and 10. We want to keep in consciousness at some level how we are feeling. So how interested are you in a particular stock on a scale of 1 to 10? Say I have an interest of 1, 2, or 3. Maybe I should be careful about my decision to invest in that stock because my interest excitement about it is not enough for me to think deeply about what benefits there are and the value there is in the stock. Parenthetically, I'd like to point out that the idea of value is really a type of interest. Value is predicated on either my interest or the group's interest in a particular thing. The more interest there is, the more value there is. On the other hand, let's say that my interest excitement is at a 9 or 10. This is the most dangerous level because over-enthusiasm leads to a reliance on mostly a gut feeling. Of course, we can be very excited about something that comes on our horizon that because we are experienced, we know is valuable from the get-go. But I'm not speaking of that. I'm speaking of putting $10,000 immediately in a stock that my best buddy just gave me a tip on without investigating it. We tell people, we tell our children, don't get too excited, calm down, think before you leap. The concept here is that we should be aware of our emotional feelings of interest and excitement. We can train ourselves to be aware of this while we are engaged in decision making. On average, the best time to decide would be when our level of interest is between approximately 4 and 7. At this point, our emotion and our reason are working together and not against each other. What is this mysterious force that would make one leap before they thought? We very rarely go there. We rarely explain anything about motivation. All I'm trying to do here is to be explicit in what that motivation is. I will follow up with what happens when what we are interested in gets blocked or is interrupted. Things don't go as planned. Thank you, Dr. Lynch. Please keep in mind that none of this is to be taken as personal, financial, or medical advice. Thank you.